World Star Hip Hop Twerk Compilations. There's no normal way for me to talk about meat slapping. Yeah, this is gonna be nasty. You guys, let's just start it here. That saying that adults used to teach us when we were kids. You know, the one that goes, keep your hands to yourself. I completely agree with that. As an aspiring gentleman myself, I still practice this to this day. Unfortunately, the thing I want to talk to you about, it kind of goes against that in like a metaphorical sense. Please don't think I'm a weirdo. I'm not gonna tell you how to be a ditty, okay? Just hear me out. When I was younger, you know, like most people, I always knew I liked women. So much so, in elementary school, I welcomed cooties or cooties, however the hell you say it. I was never afraid of something like that. Or let me put it like, I didn't have the luxury to be scared. That's if I'm being transparent. I was a fat kid, man. I gotta take what I can get. Let's be real. We all know a little fat kid at the time. Him being picky and fat, you can't have two at the same time. It just wouldn't be a good look. Anyways, a little brief introduction. So we fast forward from elementary school and we go to middle school. I'm pretty sure by this time, Vine has been extinct for about maybe 3 years, something like that. You know what? It might have died way before that. I don't feel like doing the math. I'm 20 years old, but I'm not gonna do the math. Yes, I don't look like I'm 20 years old. Anyways, when I was on Vine with my little iPhone 5C, the green one, I have the green iPhone. I see how on the Vine app, what do you know about World Star Hip Hop? Now, I'm pretty sure World Star Hip Hop has always been a thing before Vine, but Vine really highlighted those compilations. More specifically, World Star Hip Hop Twerk Compilations. It's as nasty as it sounds, but it's real. I was a youngin' when I was a victim of this. Now, I wasn't sloppy with my craft. The way these compilations would work, there would be a series of funny videos for like the first 10 to 12 minutes, right? You know, something to have you rolling around on the floor because your stomach hurts so bad because, you know, they're funny at the time. I love when King Batch makes his 30-second watermelon and fried chicken joke. Haha. So let's say that lasts for about 10 minutes, right? But the real treasure, so to speak, was at the end. I'm talking the last 5 minutes. That's where the good stuff came from. At least what I thought in my head. These last 5 minutes included some of the baddest women you might have known in that time. I won't get graphic or explicit of what I saw specifically, but it rhymes with throwing that ass in a circle. After being introduced to something like this put me down a very destructive path.
A path that had me finding videos that could mimic this format of compilations. But instead of the funny part that was at the beginning, it would just be nothing but very good looking women throwing shit, right?
I'll stop beating around the bush. This destructive path would be gooning, self-pleasuring, whatever you want to call it. If you want to get crazy, I don't know, call it swine swindling. Is that a thing? Can I get a fact check on that? Okay. I'm sorry. Let me stop. They say taking in things like this is okay with moderation. The problem that I faced at this time when I was at the height of this destructive path, I didn't know who the moderation was. After I fell down the very deep rabbit hole, I still remember my starting five to this day. That's how bad it was. I'm disgusted with myself at the fact that I still know this, but that's real. D. Williams, Misty Stone, Sarah J, Alara Jensen, and Pinky on a cold, lonely night. Just a shell of a man at that time, huh? But, you know, as weird as it might sound, this is real. This is authentic. This is a real struggle that people go through. I knew this was something to be concerned about, especially when we got to a point where I liked the action over all else. You know, it wasn't the fact that I was stressed or, hey, this helps me feel better. No, it was purely just the action. It was so much of a habit. If it didn't get done, my day was ruined. Now, this kind of addiction comes in all shapes and forms. You typically think of a lonely man that sits in the house all day on Discord. I didn't know what Discord was. I actually had a girlfriend at the time. I had a girlfriend at the height of this. Man, did it skew my perception on reality. Because I took in that content so much, I thought action was supposed to be happening 24/7. And if it didn't, I would look at her crazy as if she didn't love me. And that is a real problem. You know what's the craziest part about this whole thing? I'm not alone. There are people today who struggle with this addiction. And all the craziest shit that I just told you in this video, somebody's going through something 10 to 20 times worse. Now you think about that. Some people can't get up because of it. Some miss out on very intimate moments because they can't give up that material. And others, shit man, they won't even step outside because they're so accustomed to this fake video that they're watching on a black and orange website. Or their right hand got them right so much where they're pretty much crippled to their own hand. or their left, depending on how they're feeling, The moment I was free from all of this, my life drastically changed. For the better. I had better conversations. I was less tired. I definitely saw women in a healthier light. What I want you to understand is when I was at peak addiction, I've never really had problems with women. Okay, obviously, if you're addicted to that kind of stuff, you don't see them in the best light. But I've never had problems with that, But getting rid of the material, it did nothing but good. So there's always improvements that can be made. Now, this action of gooning isn't the whole problem inherently. It really comes down to the frequency and the use of the material itself. It's easy to talk about something like this, but it is not as easy putting this into actual practice. It is not going to be easy to lessen the action and giving up the material. But when you do it, I promise you'll find it worth it in due time. Some things that I can think of that can immediately aid this problem: try to slowly lower the intensity of the material that you watch. Now, there was a few studies that I had looked up where it says no matter what form you watch, it will still release the same amount of dopamine as any other video, comic, audio, whatever you're doing, little freak. But it worked when I was younger, and my solution isn't one size fits all, right? You got to figure out what yours is. And that's going to take so much discipline, and I'm ready for you when you are. No Diddy. There are many solutions that you can try out that you're going to have to try out until you find the right one for you. Because let's be real, nobody's going to cut it out cold turkey. You're going to have battles with it. You're going to relapse every time. You're actually going to relapse even worse into it if you just try to cut it out completely all at once. That's not realistic. Okay? Maybe it works for some, but that doesn't help for the majority. One thing you can easily start doing right now is to start taking in more positive content such as this video. I know what it's like to be in that spot, man. And let me tell you, nothing bad lasts forever, which is actually going to be my next YouTube video, potentially. Yeah, why not? The purpose of this video was to let you know there are people who are going through the exact same thing as you. You would be foolish to think otherwise, but I get it. When you're going through something firsthand, you're going to feel lonely. You're going to feel like nobody knows what you're going through, but I promise you, it is quite the opposite. I think you stumbled on this video for a reason, whether it was a link from my TikTok, whether somebody sent you this, or it even got on the homepage. No matter what it is, I'm glad you're still here with us. If you happen to be struggling with an addiction like this, just know things get better. And if it's not this specifically, same thing goes for everything else. Nothing bad lasts forever, and neither does this video. So I appreciate you for listening. Thank you for taking a chance on me. Stay strong, stay dangerous, and be smart.